Welcome to the family with
co-host Catherine Brandt,
Alex Bernard Rasmussen,
Andy Bernard,
and Kristen Burt.
And you can hear that crackling.
We have a kitty purring.
Why does the computer sound like that? What the hell?
Yeah, what is
I think it's gone now.
Why is everything bad?
Well, it sounds fine now, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of just purred. It purred for a minute.
Purred, yes, for a second.
See how it sounds now. No.
Yeah,
no, it's still doing it. Why is that doing it?
That is a great question because it's a brand new issue that happened when no one touched any equipment for 24 hours.
There you go.
Really makes you think.
All right, on with the show, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I know.
Yep.
And I want to start out the show on a Friday because I was taking some luggage down to the car because Catherine and I are going on a little trip. And I ran into two women in the hallway. And they both, of course, saw the suitcases that I was carrying. And the first woman was probably about an 85-year-old woman. She said, "Oh, you're going on a trip?" I said, "Yes, we're going up to Disney World." "Oh, God, I used to love taking the children and the grandchildren up to Disney World. It's a magnificent place. It's just wonderful." And so she gets down the hall. And then another woman we know quite well came by and said, "You guys going somewhere?" And I said, "Yeah, we're going to Disney." She goes, "Oh, my God, ish."
A lot of people hate Disney.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, they just don't like the crowds. They don't like the parks. A lot of people don't like rides.
Yeah.
Look, if you were telling me, "Oh, I'm going in for a heart transplant," I go, "Oh, good for you. I'm glad to hear that." You don't go, "Oh, ish, I didn't do that." And it's like, Jesus.
No, it's weird to maybe say something negative about someone's plans that they're very excited about. I think that's weird. And listen, I'm someone that right now, do I really want to go to Disneyland where it's super, super crowded? No. However, if my friend who works for the parks is like, "Hey, do you want to come down for a day? I've got a free pass," I would be there in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I love Disney World.
Disney
had a guy
World
on the-
is more fun too. I'm going to
Disney World is? What's bigger? I know that's a lot
It's
bigger.
a lot
spread
more
out. I
space.
appreciate the space. And
Oh, Andy's going in to do some research on Alex's microphone.
Oh, Andy does not like it when the equipment does not run.
Oh, he
right.
does not like it when the equipment gets touched
He
by
will
someone.
find out what
We'll
it's
find the
doing.
answer. But I was going to
Well-
say the best thing really is Epcot, and we don't have that out here. So I envy you in Florida with Epcot.
Yeah, I don't think I would go to Disney World without little kids anymore. Maybe I would, but it's way
we're gonna
more
be
fun
there
with little
tonight.
kids.
Yeah.
No, we're
When
going
you
to go to
get Epcot.
Epcot.
Well, I thought we were staying in Disney World, though.
Well, we're staying on campus.
She means the
but we're-
Magic Kingdom.
Magic
The
Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom.
Yes, I
Got to
always
get the lingo
forget.
right.
Yeah, you sure do.
1976, I took a job at WAPE in Jacksonville, Florida. And it was about a little over an hour drive down to Disney World. And the amazing thing about it is in the state of Florida, if you work at a radio station, a television station, a newspaper, or whatever, you are God at Disney World. It's unbelievable. I got there. It was me and one other person. There's two of us. We went down there. They gave us a 3-bedroom condominium to stay in. It was just, oh my God, it was just like I was king of the world.
You think they do that today?
No, I was just going to say they
No.
don't. I
Yeah.
would say as a reporter, because I have seen the shift of even how they treat us. We used to have a lot of the premieres at Disneyland, like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that. It was so fun. But even doing press junkets, you would walk out of the press junket and they would hand you like a box of
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yep.
toys and merch and gifts and things that were amazing after you interviewed everyone. And of course, the interviews were happening at the Four Seasons. Now,
Oh.
post-pandemic, post Bob Chapek into, the new era
Right.
of Bob Iger, maybe you get a small little box mailed to your house, maybe twice a year. And listen, I'm grateful. I am totally grateful because that is free swag. But at the same time, I'm now doing virtual interviews. So I'm sitting here interviewing everyone, and
are
it's
you
no longer at
doing?
the Four Seasons with amazing food and swanky gift
It was too
baskets.
far back.
Too far back.
Yes, it was too far back. You got to move it up. Look how I look like I have a pinhead. You got to move it toward
It's
me.
too far up.
Too far away.
Well, I don't know how. There's a lot of.
All right, if
lot
it's
of
that big a
wires.
deal, never mind. Forget it.
There's a lot of wires back here, dear. Is that
Forget it.
better?
No, now I'm off center.
Oh, you're
We need to get you a
always
ring
off
light.
I should get a ring light. Exactly.
There's 8,000 here that don't get used.
No, that's very, very
Oh, yeah.
true.
We'll
isn't it?
send
Some
one
ring
to you.
lights.
Thank you, my dear.
Sit up better.
Yeah, so I just don't understand. I agree with Kristen Burt 100%. The older woman was so happy for us. Oh, you going with family? As my wife and I are going. Oh, you'll have such a wonderful time and blah, blah, blah. But the other woman, oh, God, what are you going there for? It's horrible. I hate that place. It's like,
Well, like I said, a lot of people hate it.
but
Randy
why,
hates
why
it.
would you, if somebody told me they're going to go to hell, I'd go, oh, I hope you have a good time.
Pack something breezy.
Yeah, pack something breezy.
Bring your linen.
If you're going to hell, you're going to need it. There's no question. But in closing on this deal, I do want to ask Andy and Alex something. I was waiting till Andy got back. Next year, I know your son will only be a year and a half old.
One
But
of
he'll-
your sons.
One of your sons.
I already know where this
Oh.
is headed, and he's going to say no.
Yeah, I don't.
It'll be the 50th anniversary of me going to Disney World next year. The first time I went was in 1976. We should take the whole family, kids and all stay at Disney. Go down for. We just go for.
I don't know. I might want to go to Epic Universe.
Well, that's
Well,
fine,
you
but
can't
I'm.
take the kids. None of the kids would be able to ride anything there. So
Is Epic Universe like ride heavy?
I'm pretty
Or is it
sure
going to be
Mario
like-
Land would be geared to all ages.
Yeah, but
and I'm
that's
pretty
what I love
sure.
Mario
But that's how
Land.
many rides
And
and
Harry
Lego.
Potter.
section for.
Well, can
Harry
we get
Potter
it?
would be too scary for Ethan.
Absolutely.
have to do some research. I don't really know what the rides are exactly like. I know all the reviews are fantastic, the greatest, the best ever.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it's like Universal Studios. Like that's just set for an older.
Like
market.
Epcot.
Yeah, we're going for the kids. This is for the kids' sake. Well, my sake and the kids' sake, because it'll be my 50th anniversary going to Disney World.
And my
But in
sake,
any case,
because I'm having withdrawals from going to Disney World since we didn't go this year.
that's what I'm saying. We should. So, Andy, you'll go next year, won't you?
We'll see. It depends.
Well, the
on
great
what
thing about
time
it
it's
is-
I'll
calling
take
it.
his spot. Just Andy,
Yeah.
you stand
Well,
there.
hey,
and I'll
We'll
take
take
we
your
skipped
spot.
a year
We
so that
are
we could
100%
bank our
content.
points so we could get more hotel rooms. So if there's ever a time, next year is the time. And by the way, because we're that stupid DVC club, which I don't recommend after kids are out of or in school, because you never can get a room
Yeah.
during spring break or Christmas break or any of the breaks.
Summer's
Be happy
probably
to go
hard.
in the summer. I'd go to Disney World
Oof.
in
Summer.
mid-July. I don't care.
In Florida.
Yep.
Here's the deal. It'll be my 50th anniversary, and we'll do what we did 2 years ago when we went. Kristen, have you ever hired a guest host to take you around?
I
That's the
haven't done
best.
that yet.
That is
Oh,
the best.
it's
I heard that's
phenomenal.
amazing. Yeah,
It
because
is
you go
the
right into
best.
the rides.
You get it right in. You go in the back door for something. You don't even go in the front door with everybody else. You go in the back. You guys, Andy and Alex, you remember that, don't you?
No, I've completely forgotten. That was what?
That the woman that we had, she
Liar.
was absolutely fantastic. She had been a Disney employee for something like 10 or 12 years to
Mhm.
get to be a private guide.
Yeah.
You have to work your butt off to get there. And-
Huge
And she had to
promotion.
have she had to have like a little uniform, which did not look airy and breezy. She had to have like pancake makeup on.
Yep.
She had to look like, a tour guide from, the 1960s or something.
Do they wear those plaid
It was a
outfits? They do at
blazer.
Disneyland.
It was some sort of
Yeah, there was, like, a
blazer.
skirt and a blazer.
Yeah.
Oh. At Disneyland, they wear these like red and green or like maroon and green
Maybe it was.
vests, and they're plaid. I mean, they look like
I don't
they're for
remember.
holidays. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. But
Okay, so here's what I want to ask. We don't want to go down Christmas week, obviously.
No,
you don't want to
no,
go down that.
no,
you don't want to go that week.
No.
So should we? And what I'll do, Mom and I'll put our heads together, and we'll book it for next March. That'd be the best time to go for everybody, wouldn't it? In
No.
March.
Depends on dance things for
Depends on a lot of
fun.
things.
Just depends.
Well, Jesus, I'm offering a free trip to Disney World to stay in these palatial
She
accommodations.
gets kicked off the team if she doesn't.
Oh, my
Tom, that's why Bill and I are coming instead. We can come whenever. There's like
Yeah.
no
right.
blackout
You and Bill
dates.
can come. You and Bill should come.
That's
Yes.
the thing
I
about
will
4
s-
grandkids is there's a lot of juggling
I
involved.
will send you
We're
our.
going to have a guest host.
Well, I will tell you something, Kristen. That Disney tour guide, I think you can have up to 10 people with you.
Yes.
True, you could join.
I don't think that Colin would count.
No.
So you could come over.
Ooh, Kristen, you could go with us.
Be on it.
Ethan would even count because sometimes that kind of thing is like 5 and under is
What
free.
specific thing are we talking about?
That tour guide thing. You can have, I think, 10 people.
I will
You were
Google
there.
Disney tour guide thing.
Yeah,
You were there 2 years ago when we did it.
Tours?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, private tours.
Let's see. Do they have an age
It's really
thing?
expensive.
It's not cheap. That's true.
Not cheap.
It's not. It's very expensive, as a matter of fact, but it's worth it. And the amazing thing about it is, I used to work for Disney for like 13 years when I was at KQRS was owned by Disney, and you were the king of the world when you went down there if you were one of their employees and had the highest rated morning show in America. Didn't hurt either. There's no question about that.
Did they give you a private tour guide when you went in those days?
No.
No,
No, we just. Well, I mean, you didn't need one back then.
Yeah, it was
wasn't
pretty
so
easy to.
insanely crowded back then.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't so nuts.
and here was my. Go ahead.
I just was going to say it's funny to look back on photos of my family trips down to Magic Kingdom
Yeah.
and you look at how sparsely
I know.
populated the parks were.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Wow.
We went in the middle of COVID, and I was like, "This is still really crowded."
It was still
Well,
really busy
Well, remember how stupidly they did everything with
sure
the
did.
lines?
with the lines. Yeah.
They closed the outside lines and had you going through the buildings and supposedly pacing off like 8 feet between people, and nobody was doing that because the lines were maybe worse during COVID. That's why we went thinking it's got to be better. Nobody in their right mind's going during COVID, except for
Wrong.
us.
Except for us, yeah.
Looks like even infants count as guests for the VIP tours.
Oh,
What a
rude.
shock!
okay.
It's only up to
so-
10
So-
guests, by the way.
10 guests,
so that
and
would
we
be
would
10.
have.
We'd have 10.
no-
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
No,
8.
10.
We'd have exactly 10.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
If Kristen came.
If Kristen came, we'd have.
Well, we could just give her a separate. I could buy her a ticket to get in, and then she just follows
Wait,
us around.
would I be
anyway.
in the lines and you guys would be going to the front
Yep.
of the line?
Oh, and by the way,
we'll
the
That
let
would
you
not
know
be
how
good.
it was.
the very expensive tour guide does not include tickets. You have to buy tickets on top
Right.
of the
Yes,
tour
you do.
guide.
Oh,
That's
what?
like Club
No.
33 is you have to if you go into the club for the day, you still and you're spending all this money on your food, you still have to buy a ticket to
Yep.
the park.
Well,
Fire Carver
that's
has a good point. March
What?
is spring break.
Yeah, March is spring.
You don't want to
That's
go
when
to Disney in
schools- well,
spring.
so we want
He
to go in
says that
February.
February is the best month to go.
February is the best
Because
month.
there's really
to go, I've
nothing
heard.
going on. Like there's school is still in session. There's no breaks. There's no holidays.
Except the Northeast has winter break.
winter.
In
break.
February?
I remember,
Yeah.
Mom, remember when we went with Betsy and Aaron one time in February for my birthday and it was like packed with people from Argentina?
Yes.
Oh God, I do remember one
I do
time with
remember
people
that.
from Argentina were there. They do a lot of chanting and singing and clapping their hands. They do. It's
Well, you
hilarious.
have to wait for that Harry Potter ride for 3 hours. You got to do something.
Oh God, we were in the line for the Millennium Falcon for I could not tell you.
It was
We
it
had
was
to, like,
stupid.
We had to request rations. We had to set up a camp a couple times.
Yeah,
That's
I'm like,
terrible.
that's why I just
Very
love
long.
the little kitty rides.
Why
Doesn't
don't
it
we
make-
do this?
Okay, go ahead. I was just going to say what Walt Disney would think about all these lines, the
Oh,
hours.
I know.
that
Yeah,
people
you're
wait.
right about that. Well, if we go in February, Kristen, could you come in February?
Yeah.
I think the entire family.
Well,
And
I'd better book it now because you have no idea.
that's only 10 months away.
Less than a year. You're
You're running
not
behind
getting
already.
anything. You're way behind a year.
Oh, I
I
will say
know.
the kids always have a 4-day weekend, but it's over Martin Luther
President?
King
Oh,
Day
Martin
or
Luther.
President. Yeah, President's Day. But they have that Friday before off, so we could take like
And that's President's Day.
we
We could
could
go
come
down.
down like Thursday,
Oh.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
The holidays are
oh,
packed.
I'll say this
Every
about
They're
the
not.
Walt,
It's not going to be as packed as like spring break, though.
Oh God, no.
I think you'd be
the Walt
surprised.
Disney comment. When he died, there were 138 million fewer people in the United States.
Sure.
So
Oh my
I
God.
don't think you could fathom how many. people would
The
be-
good old days. Just
Yeah.
fewer people in general.
Let's
Well,
see,
I
he was born
suppose-
in 1901. When did Walt Disney World open?
Oh God.
71.
I was thinking 70s.
71?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
so it was
sounds
after he
about
Yeah,
died.
because they just had their 100.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
He planned it and then he died.
But Disneyland opened in 1955.
Yes.
So let's
Yes,
see.
it did.
Wow.
55. What's the population difference? 161. Let's see. 173 million more people. The
Wow.
population has more than doubled since Disneyland opened.
Yeah,
This
and we
is-
don't have the land that you guys have
Exactly.
in
No,
It has
Florida.
not expanded, which is kind of a
Mhm.
problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
there's
yeah.
Oop.
No, I was going to say the amazing thing about that whole deal is that just getting all that stuff together and all the rest of it. When you work for Disney, and I did work for Disney, like 12, 13 years? They own KQRS
I'm
for
not
like,
sure how long it
I
was.
think it was like 12, 13 years, something like that. You are God when you walk through that front door. I am not kidding you. They know who you are. They're told who you are, and they take care of you like there's no tomorrow.
I don't know if they have that stuff anymore.
They
don't
might
think
not.
Hey, if Shonda Rhimes had to fight over one
Yeah.
$154 ticket and
That's
she was
true.
making a lot of money, I don't think that's happening.
No.
That is very, very true. And I asked our host that day, a young woman. I asked her because I was still on KQRS then. I asked her if she would come on the show. Oh no, I was not. I was off the show because that was 2 or 3 years ago.
3 years ago, I think.
Was it 3 years ago?
Mhm.
Oh, so I still was at KQRS. I asked her if she would be on the show. She said, I will ask them. They
Yeah.
said, absolutely not.
No, she couldn't talk about being a guide.
Can't talk about being a guide at Disney World on a radio or television or in the newspaper.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Which I thought was kind of weird. You'd think that they'd want to promote that.
Disney's
I get a
very
little touchy.
locked down with those things.
They are, yeah.
Like,
They
I know
won't
that
watch
if you're a mascot, you're basically not ever allowed to break character, even if you're not on the job.
Hmm.
Like, if you're in costume, you're in character. And
I-
if you're not in character, you're not really allowed to talk about it too much because it's
Right.
it breaks the illusion.
And people who played like former Snow Whites and Cinderellas, they're supposed to say that they are friends of Cinderella, never that they played
Oh,
Cinderella.
yeah.
in the park.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and actually do a Kristen Burt report.
Hey.
Although, unless you still want to talk about Disney World, we
loves
can do that
Disney.
too.
I love Disney.
We all love Disney. We'll be right back right after this, ladies and gentlemen. From Bradshaw and Bryant, Michael Bryant. What's up, Pally?
Oh, not much. Doing my usual thing of telling people they shouldn't be texting and driving. In Minnesota, you can't have your phone in your hands. You can use, hands free, but you can't have your phone in your hand for whatever reason. And that's why they made the law the way they did, so that police officers could see a phone in your hand and you got no excuse for why you got it there.
Do people know that that's the law?
I hope so. I mean, they used to follow it, and then kind of COVID kind of made people forget. And now it's like a freewheeling world out there with cell phones.
Let's say you get pulled over because you do have a phone in your hand and you're not watching where you're going. You got to be in pretty big trouble then, I would guess.
Well, the first one's not as bad. It's the multiple ones, the problem. And once people start stacking them up, then they have a big problem. And then what we're doing in car accidents is we've started bringing motions for punitive damages, because I'm trying to use the civil law any way we can to stop this, because it needs to stop.
Whenever I'd had any problems in my life, who was that I called again? It was like an MB, something like that.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
Let's talk about my bank. That'd be North American Banking Company and Bilski. Look, it's easy to feel like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually do care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. This scary music, I'll say. Kristen Burt Entertainment News is brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So now that I took up 2/3 of your time, but you get a trip to Disney World from it, so
Although
that's
we're-
good.
Although we're a little mad at Kristen right now.
We are.
Just a little.
Why?
Because you told us about that horrible documentary about the kids, the kid
Oh,
influencers.
Did you
my
watch it last night?
God,
we watched
yes.
and
Oh.
we watched an episode. We had to like fast forward through some of it because we were so disgusted. Can I say how happy I am that I had children that weren't around during what was the thing before TikTok? TikTok
There's a
turned
lot
in
of them.
Behind
it was
musical,
fine.
musically? Was it musically?
Musically.
Musically.
Oh, my
Ugh.
God.
I'm actually glad Alex is here because in that first episode,
Actually,
no, because she's going to understand the pipeline from like kid beauty pageants to dance
Oh,
to
Oh.
into YouTube and kid influencing and TikTok. There is an Alex, I'm sure you see some of those kids on the convention circuit. There is a pipeline of like very thirsty mothers that want to make their kids very, very
Oh,
famous.
So
Mhm.
disgusting.
And
Mhm.
it is disgusting, but I also think people need to watch this because it shows you what a slippery slope it is, and how you're this one girl, Piper Raquel, and she's doing well, and the other parents are like, "Well, I want that for my kid," and then they come in and they join the squad, and then it snowballs.
Yeah, Fawn has a couple dance friends. One has an Instagram, but it's just like because she's sponsored by like an activewear company. And so she most of the time just posts like stuff about that. And then sometimes it's like, I'm at this dance competition or whatever, but it's like not a ton. And then another one, I don't follow it because I just like the vibe is weird. And like we went to a ballet audition for a summer intensive thing, and then one of the girls that does have an Instagram saw another girl, and the moms were like, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you guys, blah blah blah." And then somebody was like, "Oh, how do you know her?" And she goes, "Oh, an Instagram photo shoot." And I just like it just makes me feel. And so Fawn will be like, "Why can't I have one? Because they have one." And I'm like, "Absolutely not, under no circumstances, not happening, not even a little
Yeah.
bit."
I know. So the same day we watched that, Fawn sends Tom a dance video that she just did this, I don't even know, 5-minute dance
5
thing
minutes.
that she decided to choreograph herself.
It was to the song California Love, because we were listening to music after dinner and the kids were dancing around and California Love came on, and I was like, "Oh, this is one of Bop Bop's favorite songs." And so then she like planned out this whole thing.
Oh
That's
yeah,
so
she
cute.
had.
Yep.
Oh my God, it got weirder and weirder
Like the
as it
whole
went on when she was trying to figure out what else to do because it was such a long song. All of a sudden, she had 2 hats on. All of a sudden, she had an umbrella.
There was a
She
lot.
brought in props. That's amazing.
She
were
did.
props.
She
There were props.
did. You could see her. She'd go off stage and she's like trying to think of something to come back.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
But Alex, I would even, a lot of those kids on the convention circuit do have deals with activewear brands, leotard brands. But again, kids on the internet, bathing suits, leotards. I cannot tell you, you watch Piper Raquel, the actual Netflix special is called Bad Influence, The Dark Side of Kid Influencing. If anyone wants to watch it, it's 3 episodes in total. But her mother, Piper Raquel's mother, Tiffany Smith, was allegedly selling her daughter's underwear to men at a certain point.
Oh God. Oh God.
Like literally horrible.
And she was
child.
making out with Piper's fake brother.
Fake brother. And it gets worse because when you get into episodes 2 and 3, and this, you guys, this happened during the pandemic. They paired Piper up. She was 13 at the time. They paired her up with a 15-year-old boy to create a ship, with another, just to create like a couple on the internet. And so her
Yeah.
mother would take photos of her like kissing her boyfriend in a way a
Mhm.
13-year-old should not be kissing her
Oh,
boyfriend.
God.
And like when you look at these things, a lot of these TikToks, especially a lot of the Mormon influencing TikToks, when they bring in their kids, if you see like how many were shared, it'll be in the thousands. If the mom just appears by herself in a video, barely anyone's sharing it.
Oh, yeah.
So it means that people who have bad ideas and want bad things for your kids are sharing it on the dark web. And that is why I hope people watch it to really try and protect their own kids on the internet.
Nasty.
I know.
Just
I
nasty.
I post pictures of my kids on my Instagram, but I have a private Instagram.
Yeah.
And I only allow people that I personally know to follow me. And it's just so creepy.
It's so disturbing. Is there any? Does it always go sideways like this? Are there any people that do this and make a living that's not creepy and gross?
I mean, I think 99% of them are fine. It's just you don't hear about them because what's there to hear about?
They don't have the millions of views.
You also have no idea, like somebody with 12 followers, if their little picture of their daughter in their dance costume comes across some creepy guy, he can just take screenshots of it and be creepy.
That's true.
Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter how many followers you have if you're posting pictures of your kid for people to see on the internet.
Right.
They're actually
was
saying, like, if you
disgusting.
talk to experts and things like that, they're just saying, don't post if you're a content creator constantly making content, don't make any of your content about your kids. If you want to share like a family day, like take a sticker, put it over their face, make sure that, especially for the girls, make sure that they're not in unfortunately, because
Swimsuits or anything,
a kid in a swimsuit should not be sexualized. Of course not. We
No.
all understand that, but people with sick ideas, just be smart about it and be cautious, because I've seen too many tales, and because this is such an internet generation, we're going to see so many tell-all books in the next 5 years of these kids, because the YouTube generation is already adults, and we're starting to see like the Ruby Frankies and some of those stories that have come out. The kids are starting to write books, and they're like, I had to perform for my parents. I was a moneymaker for my parents, and they got none of that money in return.
Well, I feel like there's a trailer of this documentary, and it's like a mom they were making like tons of money per video, and it was like the mom looking at her kid and saying like, do you want your $10? Then you have to help me make this video, because every video that we make, you get $10. And they were making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they were giving each kid $10 per video for them
And
to watch.
if you're on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, don't support the accounts, because you're actually funneling money into what is maybe lightly called abuse in some situations, not in everyone, but
well, that's like, there are a lot of like parenting accounts that I follow that in the last like 5 or so years have started covering their children's faces, because they're like, we want to be able to talk about like our kids and what's going on, because like this is a parenting account, but they're like, we just don't feel comfortable with how many people have started to follow us with sharing our children's faces anymore. And which I completely understand. And then there were some accounts that I used to follow, and it's just like, just normal everyday, my kid, I'm taking him to school and now we're having cereal and whatever. But it's just like, when you watch it, it's just kind of weird, because you're like, okay, so you just have this phone in your kid's face taking videos of them for the internet all the time. Even if you're just eating your cereal or going to the park or whatever, like every day you're constantly taking a video and posting it on the internet for people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And if your
just
kid's having a bad day, like some parents, you see it. The kids are having a meltdown and the camera's right there in the face. And I'm like, no, you should be consoling the child, or maybe there's some sort of parenting here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And strangers should not know the names of your kids.
No,
you shouldn't be going to Disney World, since we've been talking about Disney World, and you see an influencer family and be like, oh, those are the 5 kids, blah, 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 blah. And I know all their ages. I shouldn't know anything about them.
Right.
God.
It's weird.
You have to go. Why don't you quit your other job so you can stay on?
Stay here.
Stay here all the time.
Yeah.
All right, I'll close. You have 1 more minute so I can tell it. I just got a call from a listener. And he was talking about, because I text, not a call.
Oh, so you answered the phone. When did this happen?
No, I looked at my phone. I just got a text from a listener who's been a listener forever, from when I started radio back in 1972, I think it was, or something like that, 73. And then I ended up at WAPE. That's why he texted me, because I working at WAPE in Jacksonville, Florida in 1976. And then I left there in 1977, and I moved back to Minneapolis, and I looked around for a radio job, and there really wasn't one. But at the end of 1977, just a couple of months after I got back, I was hired by Capitol Records. And I went to my mother's house and I said, Mom, I've been hired by Capitol Records. She goes, what? I said, I got hired by Capitol Records. She said, you mean like the one that the Beatles are on and Frank Sinatra used to be on? I said, yeah, I'm head of promotion for the middle part of the United States. She goes, what?
Yeah.
She said, how much money are you going to make? And I told her it was a pretty good paycheck for back in those days. But I said, also, Mom, I got to tell you that they're paying me very well. I got a company car. I got a free airline card so I could travel anywhere in the United States for free and all this stuff. And as I told her all of this stuff as it piled up, she finally, my mother, because you remember who died in 1977, my mother took a big breath and said, don't die like Elvis.
Okay.
I went all the way from Toots's Kid to Elvis Presley.
Dying on a toilet.
Dying on a toilet.
My second grade class is writing biographies about people. Like they read a biography and they're writing a report about it. And one of the kids is doing Elvis, and he was couldn't figure out how to do his conclusion. He's like, "What do I write in my conclusion? I don't know what that means." And I was like,
in conclusion, Elvis died on the toilet.
Well, I was like, what's the most interesting thing about him? Like, what's the most important thing? And he's like, that he ate a lot of drugs.
I mean, he's not wrong. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
It's like,
He
what
ate
kind
a
of
lot
drugs?
of
Like
drugs.
marijuana? And I was like, okay, you guys, let's talk about
He
anything
ate,
else.
He ate marijuana salads. That's how Elvis
In closing, Andy, we look up something very quickly because Kristen's
Marijuana,
got to go.
man.
But Elvis did die in 1977, and he died either on my mother's birthday or very close to it.
August 16th.
So, yeah, 9 days before my mother's birthday, Elvis Presley died. And she just, because he was a poor kid who made good, he was poor as hell in Mississippi.
Whoa.
He made good in America, became a huge star. So Elvis was her hero, died 9 days before her birthday. I will never
Mean.
forget it. Kristen, you got to stay longer. We got to do something about this. It's too short.
All right, we can discuss that.
All right,
You
sounds
text
good.
me
Hey,
and we'll
did-
discuss it.
Did you talk to Vinny?
I haven't talked to Vinny. He did not
Vinny-
contact me.
Oh, he's definitely going to because he was very fired up about you. He's very impressed with you. I will say that.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Indeed. And we'll talk to you next week.
Yes, and I just want to throw out lots of good things to watch this weekend. Hacks, their new season is out.
Yeah, okay.
Handmaid's Tale, the new season is out. Both one's funny, one's really dark. So just pick accordingly. But John Hamm has a brand new series that you'll like. Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, I like him.
Oh.
First lead he's had since Mad Men. He's always been an ensemble or a supporting character.
Actually, I didn't like that character. He played the sheriff on what show was that again?
Fargo.
Fargo. He was terrible. What a horrible human being on that show.
Well, he made you hate him.
He
That's
was
a good
great.
job.
Great actor. All right, my dear. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
You
Bye.
bet. See you.
Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. She's a prize, isn't she? I mean, she's as good as it gets.
We didn't bring up Eric Dane. Did you either of you watch Grey's Anatomy or Charmed very much?
No.
Grey's Anatomy, I watched a little of.
You did?
Never watched it.
It
Why,
doesn't
what
seem
about
like
it?
it would be your thing, Grey's
No,
Anatomy.
Definitely
No.
not.
I watched a couple of them.
I never,
Why?
I
What-
never
what-
got into it.
He was just diagnosed with ALS.
Who was?
Oh.
Eric Dane. He
Is that
was
Dr. Dreamy or whatever his name
Mark
was?
Sloan? Which one? I think that's McSteamy. Yes. Yep.
McSteamy. Yeah, there you go.
McSteamy.
It was McSteamy. He died?
He has
Oh, he has
ALS, which
ALS.
Oh,
means
he has
he's gonna
ALS.
be dead pretty
Which-
soon.
yeah, he's
How
going
old
to die.
is he?
He's only 52.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, ALS average age of diagnosis is 55. So
There you
never
go.
mind. He's just the right age for it.
Wow.
All right, we'll take a break. Be coming right back. The schmooze, the family chat, as it's called.
I have things to talk about.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
for sure.
A lot of stuff. Well, good.
Sure.
We're not going to sit here and
That's
stare at
for
the camera and go, oh, we have nothing to say.
I'll give you the preview. The teething years have begun.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
boy.
Oh, God.
No, they can teeth for a long,
Oh, they sure can.
I'm still teething.
long time before they get a tooth.
We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable at all? Sometimes anxiety, wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what have I told you? That you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes. My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today, 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. And I, as you know, am a paid endorser.
Have been the craziest in the history of the car business. Pandemic, supply chain, and chip
I was trying
issues,
to be
all causing
quiet.
extreme inventory.
I know. Every time I
shortages.
touched this, it was like, wow.
Some dealers
Like,
charge
stop.
thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
South Dakota, one of the most business-friendly states in the country, and there's no better place to settle down, take your advantage of those incentives. And in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000. I always love this because I look at the video while I'm reading this.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's a beautiful video of Sioux Falls. As the state's largest city with a metro population over 290,000, Sioux Falls has low business costs with a high quality of life. There's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, no limits to what your business can achieve. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, was recently ranked the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes, the #2 best state business tax climate by the Tax Foundation, and the #5 top state for e-commerce by Nexus. As one of the Midwest's fastest growing cities, Sioux Falls has a robust growing job market. No matter where you're at in your career, we have an opportunity waiting for you. Our city's tax-friendly climate and strong workforce don't go unrecognized. Forbes named Sioux Falls one of the top small cities for business and careers each of the last 15 years. In 2020, Sioux Falls also ranked as the #4 best city for young professionals. How does South Dakota stack up against other states? Well, we rank second in the nation for the lowest cost of doing business, the most business-friendly state, and the best business tax climate. And as South Dakota's largest city, Sioux Falls is at the center of these benefits. Now is the perfect time to make your move to Sioux Falls. Visit SiouxFallsDevelopment.com.
I didn't know Josh Arnold added sound effects to his ad.
They did now.
Thinking about retirement.
I know. I was trying to be so
Unbelievable.
quiet, and it just kept on falling over.
Did she make enough?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It was really loud.
I'm sorry.
It's not that bad. It was just
It was horrendous, and you know it. Today's show is brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation, 952-925-5608. And if you do use Josh, I talk to Josh about money all the time because he knows what the hell he's talking about. But, I mean, he does so well that he can pay for sound effects during his commercial. Like
Anytime.
people banging the thing constantly.
Anytime, Josh.
Unbelievable. All right, so stories. Andy had stories. Alex has stories.
Andy, you go ahead.
Well, like I said, Colin has begun to teeth. He's got that first incisor coming on in.
Well, hopefully it doesn't take too long because sometimes the teeth can take forever.
Ethan he didn't do teething very well, but he also got all his teeth very quickly.
That's how Fawn was. She got all of her teeth really quickly, except for her canines. Her canines, for some reason, took forever.
Huh.
And were the only ones that really upset her. Sage, I don't remember.
Because usually it's like 2.5 they get their last tooth, if not even later.
No, they get isn't there 4-year molars and
4-year molars?
yeah,
No.
there's some type
Ethan's
of,
had all his teeth since he was not even 2 years old.
there's some type of, isn't there a,
Is there a 4-year mold? No way. You talking about your wisdom teeth?
at
there's-
age 4, a child typically has all 20
Yeah.
teeth in place.
No
including
4-year
the
molar.
first molars. But then there's,
There's the 2-year molar. It's probably what
They're arguing over teeth.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
great. That's
But
wonderful.
yeah, I mean, he's been. We didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. He's just mad all the time, and he will be until the tooth is done cutting in.
Oh, I suppose.
I used to
yeah.
use some Ambisol or something like that.
that
Ambisol.
Camilla stuff that I gave Melissa when
Ethan?
she was pregnant with Ethan is the most magical stuff. Both of my kids that helped them so much anytime.
Oh, Ambisol is benzocaine. You're not supposed to do that anymore.
No, not anymore.
Well, there was
but
a
it
child.
can make it
There was
so
a
they don't breathe
there was a
properly.
baby kind I don't know if it was the same.
Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore.
Yeah, probably not.
Clove
Unfortunately.
oil? Is clove oil harmful to
Not
babies?
recommended.
No,
Any
everything
essential
is-
oil
yeah.
you can't touch or look at because it's not been studied by the
Yeah,
FDA.
they're very
Oh.
like you're not supposed to do anything. You're just supposed to look at your baby until he's done.
Or give it tons of Motrin and Tylenol.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they tell you to do.
That's the deal.
Yep. So that was fun.
Is he sleeping or
Nope,
no? Okay, fine.
not really.
Oh God.
Many a time last night.
Oh, that wasn't like
Eventually-
Andy at all. Remember how well Andy slept, Catherine?
Well, he did after he wasn't a baby anymore.
After he was 7.
About 7 or 8 months, you finally started sleeping.
Well, Colin's a fine sleeper. Just he's teething. We had to give him Tylenol at like 4:00 in the morning because we were like, okay, we need you to stop crying.
It is amazing how some kids just suffer with teeth, and some it's just, oh my, there's a tooth.
I know.
Never even knew it.
It's weird stuff.
Yeah, a friend of mine had a real drooly baby, just buckets. It
Ethan
was
drooled like
just
crazy until he was like 2.5.
You're drooled.
gross.
I remember being like, how long is this kid going to drool for? We asked his doctor, we were like, is this normal? And she's like, some kids just are like that.
Yeah, well, that's their, yeah.
But now he
Teething
doesn't really do
response.
that anymore. He's over it. He just stopped one day. Very weird.
Remember our friends that hate our guts now dog, the drool puss? Oh, he
Yeah.
was so gross. Just, he was so
Oh,
gross. You had to
Friends
have
that
a,
hate our guts now. Do I know them?
yes.
Yes.
You're going to tell me after
know.
the show who it
Those
Yes.
is?
dogs are just
He
know.
was, yeah, he had to have like a beach towel around it all the time because it was
So
constantly,
could
shake its
never.
head,
Yep.
phlegm everywhere. Oh, I would never want a dog like that.
Yep. No.
So
I know, it's like
gross.
the movie Beethoven. One of the like gags is that he like drools all over the place.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, I was like, this is just gross. I don't want to see this.
Well, that's like Rio, the movie about the blue macaw. There's Rio 1 and Rio 2.
yeah, it's animated, right?
Yeah,
3D Pixar-y.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched Rio 1 and Rio 2 over like a couple weeks, like a month ago. And there's a character in it that's a bulldog, and he just drools and drools and drools and drools. And he's not in the movie a ton, but every time he comes on the screen, I like cover my hand. I'm like, this is gross. Like, it's just, and I'm like, even though it's animated, I'm like, ugh, I don't
No,
want to
it's
see
just-
that.
I don't know why, but I've always just really not been a fan of drool.
See, I wonder if there are fans of drool.
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's probably an internet sensation
Probably.
that drools
I
all the
A
time.
lot of
and they
people
love
don't
it.
really care that much is the thing. It's like they'll think it's like funny or just like, oh, whatever.
Oh, I just
But no, not me.
no spit and saliva and ugh,
Mhm.
no,
No.
Not a
not
huge
not,
fan.
not in love with that.
no, because no. How has Ethan settled down about going to Florida?
Nope.
Are you still doing it?
No. Last night we were putting him to bed, and all of a sudden he's just like, I want to stay at the 201 house.
He loved that house.
Just
didn't
never
he?
gonna forget that place, apparently. It's only been a week.
Well, and he's
so-
at the age too where it's like you could take him literally anywhere, and if
Yeah.
it was like a new exciting thing,
Yeah,
he would
adventure.
talk about it forever. You know,
Yep.
like you could stay on like a dirty houseboat, and he'd be like, "That was the
It's
best
true.
thing of my life."
very much like
because
that.
That's just the age.
Oh, yeah, he
Well, I
talks
will
about
tell you
going to
this.
Grandpa's house and Bop Bop and Nana's house, and he wants to
Yeah.
go to this park and that park, and
Yes.
wants to go to school. He just like wants to be places.
Yeah,
He does indeed. The first
Yeah,
time I
no.
ever saw the ocean, I was 16 years old. My sister Vicky decided to fly us out because my brother Terry lived in Los Angeles. He had gotten out of the Marine Corps, and
I was 15.
you were only 15. There you go.
hmm
But I was 16 years old, and to this day, I will never ever forget that. So, I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like for a little kid, 3 years old, the first time they see the ocean. It's like, oh my God.
Well, everything is so significant to you at that age.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow, and look how huge the ocean must seem. I mean,
Oh, it is
when
huge.
you're 3 feet tall.
Well, you don't even, I don't even think they realize
No,
at that age.
It
like,
doesn't seem immense to them because they can't like it ends at their
Fathom.
field of view, and
Yeah.
that's the end of the ocean.
Yeah, like Fawn, I'd say was probably 7 when she first started being like,
Things are
"It goes
big.
on
Yeah.
forever."
Is that when she? Is that when she said it was
Yeah.
like this pool is crazy?
This
That
pool
pool
is
was
crazy.
crazy. No, that was I think
She was
maybe
much
like
younger.
4. She went in
Yeah.
and swam. She's always loved swimming in the ocean. She went in with
Mhm.
Dan, and there was waves,
No,
and,
yeah.
and she came out and she said, "That pool is crazy."
He keeps saying, he's like, let's get in the car and go to Florida.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
really
Yeah.
don't understand how big the world is, do you?
No,
No.
they do not.
Just
No.
like you don't understand how massive a trip to Disney World
No,
is when you have to do the planning.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
The planning
kids
is
really don't appreciate
obnox-
that kind of thing.
it really is obnoxious.
Well, let's start planning. Do you want to go in February?
Well, there would have to be a consensus on time. We'd have to take time off the podcast. The kids would
Yes.
everybody would have to come up with a week.
Yes.
Yep. We'll have
Well,
to
why
talk
don't you guys
about
why don't you guys talk and then include mom in it, and then she can handle our end of it. But you guys figure out a time that'd be best. But it should take the entire week. Not that we're going to be at Disney World the entire week. We could
No.
be if you want, but
No.
but probably that's too long. But it'd be kind of a cool way to celebrate the 50th anniversary the first time. I'm telling you, honest to God, I was 24 years old, I believe, the first time I ever went there. And it just floored me. It was just unbelievable. One of the first places your mom and I ever traveled. I think it was the first place you and I ever traveled
It might
to
have
was
been.
Disney World.
It might have been.
And we got there and it was like 44 degrees.
It was
There was
great.
nobody there. We both bought stocking caps and ran around that park like we owned it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want a nice cold snap.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Floridians cannot handle cold.
No.
Oh, God,
No.
no.
Most of our audience is Minnesotan, so they don't understand that people down there. I was walking we were going to the airport. I was going back from your guys' place back to our place. And I passed by this older woman. She was probably late 70s. It was 70 degrees at least, sunny,
Mhm.
and about probably 80% humidity. And she was wearing like a North Face puffy jacket.
Yeah.
You see that still.
Yeah,
You do.
there's a woman in our building who's very old and very, very thin, and she's very, very sweet and very nice, but she's always wearing
Yeah.
A parka.
winter clothes. And she says, I'm
Yeah.
always cold. I'm just
Well, you
always
remember
cold.
your dad, the last like 2
Yeah.
years of his life. We would go in there.
Oh my
I swear to God, like
God.
stegosaurus would walk by because the climate had resurrected him.
It's so hot.
It was literally, he said it at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
Oh, I know. It was just stifling. It was terrible.
He'd go in there and be like, oh my God. We
Well, they
go
have no
in the
body
winter-
fat left. when
We
they
go
have
there in
this-
the winter and we would change into shorts and t-shirts in the car, go into his place, and then change again back in the car when we left.
That is true, yes.
I know. When I had to see him two or three times a week, and I would put a space heater on him
Yeah,
and turn off the heat. I would just point it right at him,
Well, I
throw a
used to
couple
think-
blankets on his lap.
I used to think that would never ever happen to me, but when I had my whole gallbladder thing and I lost like 40 pounds,
Mhm.
I was freezing. I was wearing like 3 blankets to go to bed. I had like a
That could've-
blanket and I had like a heated blanket, and then I had another blanket on top of me.
That could have been an after effect of anesthesia or something too.
No, I was like that for like a year.
Were you really?
Yeah, I lost a bunch of weight and I was just freezing all the time.
Yeah.
So it can happen very quickly. All of a sudden, you just have zero tolerance for the cold.
Yep. It does happen as you get older. You don't like the cold as much.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a break? Be right back in a couple of minutes. Right after this, let's talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Look, it's easy to feel just like just another account number at the big national banks, but that's not how it works with my friends at North American Banking Company. Whether you're visiting their locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, or Maple Grove, you'll always find real people who know you by name and actually care about your finances, not some AI chatbot. They also offer all the modern conveniences you expect, like online and mobile banking, but with a personal touch that only a community bank can offer. So why settle for less when you can bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Visit nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Maybe you could reconsider all the love you missed and I've been wrong.
Today's show brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Andy, let me ask you a question about, when Vinny comes in, you were there. Is he in because have I ever met him in person?
No, none of us have.
Yeah, that's right. He lives in California, so he
lives in
doesn't,
California.
he doesn't come in studio ever. That's right. He's never in Minneapolis, St. Paul. But
Nope.
I tell you what, I think he's terrific. He was a great addition to the show.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm probably
Sure.
about once a month.
I started following him on Instagram. He's got a lot of shorts about health stuff.
Yeah, he wears in California. Of course, he has a lot of shorts.
See, there you go. Take it home, lady.
Anyway, and yeah, he actually, he's the no grains, no sugar guy. He's
Yes.
very serious about all that stuff. And I'm like, that's nice.
Why does he like grains?
He's a fitness guy. And he's like, if you want to be a lean, mean fighting machine and not have inflammation in your body, you should not be eating sugar or grains.
Yeah, basically,
what do you-
carbs are the enemy.
So what do you eat?
He's
Fat and meat, fat and protein.
Well, he's like
okay.
vegetables. He's like, if you're a vegetarian, you should be eating
Mhm, yeah, a
you
lot of
eat, like chickpeas and things like that, obviously, because
okay.
you need
Yeah,
your
beans,
protein.
that sort of thing.
But he's like, if you're sort of ketoing, you need to stay away from them, obviously, because you can't stay in ketosis if you're having
No.
lots of carbs.
Well, that's Melissa's brother and mom. That's all they eat is fat and protein.
Well,
Oh, is that right?
Her brother lost a ton of weight doing that,
Tons
and he's
and
kept
tons
it
of it.
off.
Yes,
Right?
he has kept it off.
And I thought her father did it too.
No, he just got the bariatric surgery.
Oh, he did?
Well, he
then-
did. He did take it off because I didn't even
No, he
recognize him.
He had to lose some weight for a back surgery,
Yeah,
and then he had his back surgery. And
Well,
then
yeah,
he
he
had bariatric
got
Oh,
the
okay.
bariatric surgery to lose some weight, and then
Yeah.
he got the back surgery, and
yeah.
that's when he lost a ton of weight because he was like
Oh,
he was bedridden for ages, and he was in
Oh.
constant pain, so he wasn't eating. He
Yeah.
lost, he got very is this guy gonna live another 3 months at some point?
Oh.
Yeah, at
But
your
now he's
house,
doing fine now.
Well,
at your
that's-
house, Mom and I did not even
Yeah, we
recognize
didn't know who
him.
he was.
I had
We're
no
not-
idea who he was.
On our way
Yeah, I
out, I
mean,
said to
the average
Melissa,
weight
I
is-
said, I'm so sorry your dad didn't get to come.
Yeah,
She's
I
like, he's
remember.
right over there.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know
I
how
thought
much
that was like
weight-
an uncle or
I
something.
don't know how much weight he lost, but it has to have been at least 100 pounds,
Yeah, had to have been.
and not in a very long time either.
God,
Yeah.
it was you could not recognize him.
No.
Yep.
He's in great shape now.
Yeah, no, despite the fact that the doctor basically said one day you're going to wake up and not be able to walk, he's
What?
they said that, you are
Yeah.
doomed to a wheelchair. It's just a matter of when.
Really? Why?
Well,
what
and
would
there's
cause
a
that?
difference between great shape and thin.
Well, that too.
Well, that's true. Yes.
But no, I mean, like he's going out and he's doing a lot of fishing, ice fishing,
He's moving around
water
while he
fishing.
can.
Yeah, I mean, he's painting houses and stuff. He's making fishing poles, But yeah,
So-
no, he's got like I forget exactly what it was. It was something like when he was a teenager, he was doing construction and something fell on his back and like shattered his
Oh,
spine a little.
God,
Oh,
yeah.
a little?
A little. Yeah.
Well, just a
little.
little, just like a little fragment of his spine came off, and they were like, "Okay,
Ah.
you need to stop doing physical labor." And he was like, "Sure thing." And then he did physical labor for another 40 years, which caused his spine to degrade to the point where
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
damaged spine kind of just fell apart one day.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
And now, they couldn't remove all the fragments. So it's like, at some point your spinal cord's just going to get severed.
God, that's
Oh my
terrible.
God. That is
Yeah.
terrible.
But,
Walking
I mean,
around out
I don't know.
behind you there, Andy.
No, who's behind you?
Someone's behind me. Oh, it's
Yeah.
probably, yes, it's Hubbard. They're here to take all their stuff.
Oh, that's right. They're
Oh.
going to take
But
all their
they
stuff
can
out of there.
wait.
They can wait another 5, 6, 7
Well, that
minutes,
kind
can't they?
didn't that happen with Andy Fisher too? Didn't he? Wasn't
Yes.
he walking
Yeah.
down a wood plank into a
Mhm.
foundation and fell off of it with a bunch of cement and wrecked his back and
Yeah.
was
You
supposed to
can-
not?
You
do
can
anything.
really destroy your back in no time doing construction.
And he died
One
very
slip.
young because of that.
How old was he?
I think he was only about 70 when he died. You
Oh,
know how to
that's
spell
not
that?
very-
Fischer?
Yeah.
You could look it up and see. I think he had
Oh, yeah,
just turned
suppose-
70.
Suppose I could, couldn't I?
I think didn't he? I thought he died of cancer.
Yeah, he had a bunch of different
Was that
things going on.
2017? No.
He's been dead for 8
No.
years. Can't be.
That's a different Andy Fisher from Minnesota.
Well, he'd be Andrew Fisher, right?
This is a different Andrew Fisher from Minnesota.
That's unbelievable. I didn't think he died 7 years ago, but I bet it was 3 or 4.
Yeah, 2022. Oh, yeah, I remember looking this up, and that was the weird thing. So Andy Fisher's full name, Andrew Joseph Fisher.
Joseph.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
This guy who died in 2017, his name,
Andrew Joseph. We
Yep.
we had this conversation
Andrew
like
Joseph Fisher.
Honest to God, they died the same year or a couple
No.
years apart.
this happened like a month ago.
Yes,
That
I
you
remember this.
Yes.
Really?
He was born in 1952. He was 70. Yeah, not even.
He was not even 70 yet?
He was going to turn 70 that year.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. He was a dear friend. He's my best friend ever. That's why Andy's name is Andy. He was named after Andrew Joseph Fisher.
Mhm. But
That
not
whole
one
family,
who
the
died.
Fisher family, when my father was put in a mental institution, his family kind of took me aside and they were my guardians. His mother and father were just darling, wonderful to me. His sisters, his brother, the Laurent family, the Lundins, there were several, like the O'Briens, obviously, because Pat O'Brien, his family lived there, my brother-in-law. But those people all stepped up and became literally my father. It was fantastic. So I'll never forget that. Look how far I've come now instead of being in prison like most of the people I went to high school with. So in any
Yeah,
case,
God bless him.
God bless them all. All right, we'll take that last break, come back and wrap things up.
Totally.
Yes,
Oh,
I
you got to
got a
go.
couple-
That's right, Alex. You got to go right now,
Yeah.
don't you?
Sure do.
And I've got a couple of little announcements.
Okay.
After we come back, and then we can.
All right, Alex, we'll talk to you next week.
Sure will.
Sounds good. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Bye.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold's do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the show, and thank you for doing that, by the way. Show's getting bigger and bigger. It goes along. Thank you for that as well. You're listening to us. It says here you're listening to me, but you listen to us. You listen to the whole family. And that's another thing I got to talk about. I mean, the fact that I can work every day with my wife, our son, our daughter, sometimes the younger kids come in. Working with the family is very, very special to me. Your customers are listening to the show as well, and they'll hear me promote your business. That's how we got a lot of our business as a matter already. So the Tom Bernard Podcast attracts thousands of listeners who are loyal, engaged, and ready to support businesses they trust. Our podcast has helped numerous businesses increase traffic, increase sales, brand recognition. We're not just about ads. We're about results. Well, I learned that a long time ago. I was a voiceover guy for a long time doing commercials, and I learned how to do a commercial without shoving it down your throat. Thank God for that. Whether you're a local business or a national brand, we offer custom advertising packages designed to fit your unique needs and goals. Our audience spans multiple demographics, allowing you to target your ideal customers with precision, from millennials to baby boomers and everyone in between. With the broad reach and passionate following, your business will be increased. I will see increased visibility, and so will you, and awareness, translating to more customer sales. All you got to do, if you want to get started, visit tombernardshow.com, click on the partner tab, and let's discuss how we can work together to grow your business. Andy's rocking out. That's all I
Andy
have to
is
say.
Always rocking out.
Andy's always rocking out.
Mhm.
We got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Anything you guys want to talk about?
Well,
Well,
there's two things about the app and the stream that I can talk about quick.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Okay.
idea. That's a good plan.
Let's see. A few people have been having an issue finding the app on Android specifically. If you search for it, it finds the old app.
Oh,
That's not a problem for everyone, but it is a problem for some people, myself included. Like if I know how to, do the Google Play Store, and I cannot find our app on the Google Play Store.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently, some people say that it can take up to a month for it to get fully indexed for everyone.
oh,
That's just, how it is. I did post a link on Facebook. It's probably like 5 or 6 posts down. I think I posted it maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago.
maybe that can get pinned on the top until it.
Yeah, I might have to because it has a direct link to the Google Play Store page for our app. So it's still on the Google Play Store, just the search isn't working. So if you're listening
Okay.
and you use
Great.
Android and you can't find it, then go to Facebook and find that link. And then you'll be able to install it.
Okay, I have a question. Is there any place we're not on? Because we're on
No,
every place. Are we on,
Apple.
we're on
everything is
Apple?
switched over.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean-
if you have the old app, it's not working at all anymore. I announced this on Facebook, but not everyone goes on Facebook. So the old app, it's called Tom Bernard Morning Show, completely non-functional at this point. You've probably noticed that yourself. So just go ahead and delete that. I'm going to have them take it off the app store as soon as possible so people don't keep downloading it.
Yeah.
Use the new app if you can find it. You should be able to.
Well, is Hubbard helping you with this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because, if
search
they
thing
can't
is
find us,
just
it's hard to listen to the show.
Yeah, the search thing is not anyone's fault except Google's. They just take a long time to do everything.
They do, yeah. But the other ones like
is-
Spotify and all that stuff, they pop right up, don't they?
Yeah, no, it's everything's
good.
on our website immediately.
Good.
The RSS feed gets populated immediately. Not a problem at all.
But we are picking up hundreds of listeners every week, are we not? That's what I've been told anyway.
Yeah, everything, all the new stuff is going pretty well.
Glad
It's
to
just,
hear it.
Everything has to get harder all the time. Other people have been having an issue with the live stream. They're saying that it's, just not working very well. That's not due to the app or the website. That is on the host's side. So we stream audio to them and then they send the audio to you. Not really anything we can do about that. If we keep having issues, I'm going to look for a new host. They've been fine until like Tuesday.
Who is the host?
It's called radio.co. And they've
okay.
been doing great. I don't know what the problem is. I might have to contact them. But yeah, don't worry. Your app isn't broken. Website's not broken or anything. It's just, it is what it is. Can't do a whole lot about it at the moment. It's working 95% of the time, but dropping during the show can be annoying, I'm sure.
So I have a question for you. What's the name of the app?
Tom Bernard Podcast.
No, but I mean, what's the name of the business that you're talking about right now?
Oh, the streaming service we use is called radio.co.
I have a question. Do they also put radio stations on there?
I don't think so.
Because radio is coming apart at the seams. Radio is only going to last about 2 more years at the most, from what I understand.
I mean,
So why do
build
they keep using the
themselves-
word radio?
They bill themselves as creating a radio station.
Right.
I don't really know why. I think
Not a
it's-
good idea.
Yeah.
People don't want to listen to the radio. Look, I have friends in the business. There are some magnificent radio shows in the market. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like it's like being on local television on a television station now. Very hard for people to get to if they have the services, Netflix and Hulu and all the rest of it. You can find it all. As a matter of fact, I watch Channel 5 Eyewitness News now here because you can get the app and everything. You can watch it wherever you want. But that business is way down because people don't watch news anymore.
Yep, it's true.
They just don't. They find it on OAN and all these other news sites, which is
Or
kind of a problem
internet.
because it gets very political.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It
Or
does. It
they-
gets very
a
political.
lot of people just get their news on like Twitter and TikTok, which I don't know if that's a good idea.
Not a good idea because they don't even have to tell you the truth on there.
No, they don't.
All right. Is that everything, Andrew?
I think so. I mean, new website's up. New apps are up. Everything is switched over. I mean, yeah, we're just like every transition. There's a period of badness.
I suppose
But
we'll
right
stay
now,
after
it's
it.
just,
but-
we're just waiting for the stream to stabilize. Hopefully,
Yes.
that will happen sooner than later.
All right. We'll talk to you on Monday.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Got a picture in my noggin reminds me of this rose before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking